I'm your Godzilla of the truth in America, your oracle of the deplorables, the Jane Meister, coming up. This segment brought to you by my friends at the Vapor Technology Association. Have you a smoker like me? Smoke, smoke, smoke. Got to quit. How'd you do it? Vape. Oh, but vape's no good. Well, who's saying that? Well, you know who it is? The cancer stick producers. Big tobacco screwing us again. Big everything. Everything is big. Big banks, big tobacco, big gangster bankers, big Wall Street, too big to fail, right? Big tobacco has been screwing us forever. They say one thing, they do another. You got all the lobbyists running around D.C., right? But if you're a vapor or you needed vape to quit smoking like I did, it's one of the greatest things out there. President Trump understands this. And he probably got all these little vaping stores, it's all independent business owners. Open these up, right? President Trump promises stand with the vape industry, stand with the vapors. And he got a lot of their votes. Vapors vote. It's big time, right? It's kind of underground, but Vapors is its own community. So a lot of people vape. And Mr. President, we want to be sure that you keep your promise and help the vapor industry grow. Because look, the alternative is you smoke cigarettes, which are far worse. And if you're former cigarette smoker like me, without vaping, you would have never gotten them off. So it's all good. This message brought to you by the Vapor Technology Association. We hope to have Tony on soon to talk about it, the Vapor Technology Association. Well, it's been a long break there since we had a lot of emotion. Joining me now, the Jane Meister, and to calm things down a little bit. Jane Timken is State Senator, Ohio. She's also the National Republican Committeewoman from Ohio. Jane, before we get into anything, I had a caller, Kimberly, from a couple of minutes ago that is in Ohio. She's part of what we call the Forgotten American. She can't get water to her home, and she's just been, basically screwed over. So I don't know what district you're in, but I'm going to see if I can hook you guys up. Maybe there's something you can do for Cindy and her neighbors who have been without water now in a certain part of Ohio for a very long time, and they're getting the runaround by the Ohio EPA.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure where she lives in Ohio, but John, definitely give her my information. I'm happy to try to help her. This is, again, I love how everyone says white privilege, and I'm sure she lives in Appalachia, and these people live in conditions that are just not acceptable anymore. And I'm sure the EPA, maybe the Ohio EPA, is giving them the runaround. Oftentimes these people have failing wells and failing septic systems. I know in my county they spent a lot of money upgrading our sewage system and encouraging people to connect, but again, that costs a lot of money and people can't afford to do that.
Well, I will hook you guys up because this is what our show's about. People, this is all about the forgotten American, and this is basically what spurred Trump's movement, spurred MAGA, spurred America First, about working people. Jane Meister, tonight, I'm very fired up about tonight's speech. I'm really excited about it. I think the president's going to lay out the greatness of our country, the great things that have happened. The economy is booming. What do you look for tonight, Jane Timken?
I'm excited for tonight. We hear daily a bombardment of bad news that comes out of our national media. Everything is terrible. The economy is terrible. People can't afford anything. But I'm sorry, but if the statistics and the numbers were under Obama or Biden, it would be the economy is booming. Mortgage rates are coming down. Interest rates are coming down. GDP growth, with the exception of the shutdown, Schumer shutdown in the fourth quarter, which hampered growth. Look, President Trump's fighting every day for the American people, and he's being, no surprise, obstructed by the Democrats. They don't want to see him succeed, but unfortunately that means they don't want to see the American people succeed. And I'm tired of it, and I think the American people are tired of it. We have a Homeland Security shutdown going on right now. We have major snowstorms, then FEMA has to get out there and work, but the Democrats would rather shut everything down to their benefit. God knows why. Do you know why? I mean, does the average American know why they shut down Homeland Security? Because of ICE? That doesn't affect the average American at this point at all.
Well, it's not about ICE. The reason they shut the government down is because every time they see an illegal deported out of the country, they're losing a vote, they're losing power. Wall Street gets upset because they're losing cheap labor. So they have to, pay workers a decent wage in order to live. So they're upset. So look, they can't get any more in. So now they're mad when you get them out. This doesn't have anything to do with ICE or the optics in Minnesota. This is all to do about saving the system of this country, the power base of the Democrats, which is now based on illegals voting, illegal in the census, and they have the devil's bargain with Wall Street in order to get cheap labor, and now they have to pay like wages, Jane. That's why this government shut down.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the other reason why, and 85 to 90% of the American public supports, voter ID and citizenship voting. I mean, novel, shocking idea that only the citizens of this country should vote in this country's elections. They're willing to likely, obstruct and shut down the government again. I hope that our leaders, Republican leaders in Congress, understand the importance of the SAVE Act. It is, I remember when the Democrats had House Bill 1, their big national reform, and that was going to federalize elections and take over elections and implement all of their mail-in ballot fraud elections.
Yeah, and look, we're not going to pass the SAVE Act without getting rid of the 60-vote phony cloture filibuster that Republican senators hide behind, like hiding behind mommy's skirt. What are your thoughts on that? Why don't they just get rid of that, go to the talking filibuster, and then with 51 votes, they could get the SAVE Act passed. They could open the government. None of this would be happening, Jane.
Yeah, I think it's time. I think Scott Best and Senate Best a couple weeks ago, when he was talking about game theory, that if your opponent is a bad actor, it's important for you to act first, because it's almost kill or be killed. And so we're in this position now where we need to strike against the Democrats, because no doubt in my mind, if they get control of the Senate, they will blow up the filibuster. And I'll remind you, Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin were the ones that stood against blowing up the filibuster. It almost happened, which means that they will do it now if they get control of the Senate.
I just had to write that down because that is a brilliant statement. It's now kill or be killed. You're 100% correct. And I can't understand why these Republican senators are just sitting on their hands talking about, somebody told me the other day, well, John, Senator Thune is a traditionalist. Like, what the hell is that? I don't even know what that means. Like, tradition for what? You want to go back?
Right.
Yes, if we had Scoop Jackson and Birch Bayh and Mo Udall, you want to go back to those days. Yeah, you could do tradition where you could have a conversation. Fred Harris, I'm bringing up Democrat names back in the day. Herman Talmadge, you could sit down and have a cup of coffee. You can't negotiate with these people. They're nuts. Jane, if you were in the Senate, we endorsed you in, was it 2022, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I endorsed the Jane Meister over J.D. Vance. Oh, well.
I know.
You would have been
He's
better.
our vice president.
I know he's over
No
here.
problem.
But let me just ask you this, Jane. So if you were in the Senate, would you vote to get rid of the 60-vote cloture rule and go to the talking filibuster? Yes or no?
Absolutely. Yes. At this point, yes. Yes. No doubt in my mind. And it is, again, because of what I said. The Democrats are going to do it. And, I understand this traditionalist notion, but you also have to understand we are not living in traditional time. This is a power struggle between, quite frankly, a demo republic that we all are used to versus a socialist Democrat republic, not even republic, a socialist country. That is what is going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years if the Democrats take control. Just look at the other countries around Europe and what's happened. And quite frankly, I think there's been some pushback and pullback because they've seen that they're failed policies. But it's unprecedented the amount of how power hungry the Democrats are.
Jane, I'm really optimistic about tonight's speech. I'm optimistic about the economy going forward. You know, this tax cut, people are getting refunds like crazy. Um, can we turn the corner when these midterms, Jane?
It's going to take a lot of work. And I think that we've got to have some good things come our way. We've got to continue to work on inflation coming down, which means the government needs to stop spending money, which I think that at least our Republicans in Congress are starting to work on that. President Trump as well needs to do that, reducing the cost of prescription drugs. We are seeing movement in the housing market, which makes housing more affordable. We have to make it so that we can produce our goods. And the amount of investment coming into this country is very encouraging. Japan is investing $33 billion in a gas power plant in southern Ohio, in an area of the state that, quite frankly, is southern Appalachia and has been depressed for several decades, and this is a great boom. So once we see that these people start having jobs, that they have money in their pocket to spend, that their real wages are going up, I think that we're going to be in a lot better situation. But we can't have any self-inflicted wounds. We've got to have good quality candidates. And my message, I've said this before, President Trump was willing to take a bullet, and quite frankly, he has probably death threats every day. We need to get out there and stand up and vote for him and the rest of the Republican ticket this November.
Jane Timken, the Jane Meister, if there's one message you want the president to deliver tonight, Jane Timken, what is it?
I'm here for the American people. I've got your back, and I'm working every day to make sure that you are safe, secure, and that you can prosper.
Jane Timken, the Jane Meister, from your lips to God's ears. Thank you. Thanks. I love what you said. It's kill or be killed. I'm going to steal that. I'm going to put that on your YouTube segment. That's how I'm going to title it. As always, Jane Timken nails it. Should have been U.S. Senator from Ohio. Great lady. Jane, people want to follow you. Where do they go?
Jane Timken OH on Twitter and State Senator Timken on Facebook.
All right. The Jane Meister. Truer words
Thanks.
Have never been spoken, Jane. Thank you for being with us. Okay. John Bachman next. Keep it right here.